The first thing you have to ask yourself is, what does it mean to be selfish? To be selfish is to be a burden to another human being. Whenever you find yourself a burden to somebody else, or someone else is a burden to you, that is a very selfish act. The person who dislikes himself, believe it or not, is the biggest burden to be around in the world. This is someone who is never happy. He doesn't know how to make himself happy. He is using other people to try to get them to be happy. And he is always blaming other people for the conditions of his life. The person who has self-doubt or self-rejection doesn't know how to enjoy their life. Wayne. Being around a person who doesn't enjoy their life is burdensome. The person who does love themselves, who feels good about themselves, who, if you ask the question, do you love yourself? And there's not even an issue there, right? There's not even a question involved. It's simply, of course I do. This is me. This is all I have. Of course I love myself. Why wouldn't I? Why would I ever put myself down? It has nothing to do with being conceited or finding fault with other people or making yourself better than anybody else. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the simple notion that in order for me to be happy, I have to love myself. In order to be able to be free from being a burden to somebody else, I have to know how to enjoy my life. If I know how to enjoy my life, it means that I am loving the life that I'm having. That means I'm loving the body that I'm in, I'm loving the self that I am. Therefore, you will not be a burden to anybody else. The person who loves themselves is never a burden to anyone else unless it's conceit. Conceit is just another form of trying to get other people to pay more attention to you. But if it's just authentic self-acceptance, then it is the most important thing that you can do. In raising children, nothing is more important than the whole educational environment than self-concept and self-esteem. This is what we're trying to teach all the time to young people. Feel good about yourself, treat yourself, cherish yourself as a valuable and important, significant, grand, divine creature. As someone who is unique and special in all the world, feel that way about yourself wherever you go and carry yourself that way. Because the minute that you start practicing self-rejection, and self-rejection shows its ugly head in a lot of ways, you can reject compliments that are directed at you. This whole thing, I'm really not very smart, I'm just real lucky, I guess. I mean that whole kind of condescending, always putting yourself down. Someone says, gee, you look really nice today. No, I don't really look nice. This is just a facade. This isn't the real me. You can make up excuses for why you look nice. It's my hairdresser. She does it for me. Or it's the wardrobe. Or it's the color that I'm wearing. It isn't really me. You can give credit to other people all the time. I am no longer willing to allow myself to be immobilized by the rejection that other people or other events or other institutions or whatever it may have attempted to impose on me. So what you want to do at this point is, if you can see that there are areas of your life in which you are self-rejecting, identify them and make a commitment to changing them. Then you can come up with some specific things that you can do about them. Some of those specifics, those strategies, those techniques that you can use to rid yourself of this self-rejection are really quite simple. You can begin to discipline yourself to select new responses to others' attempts at making you feel good. When someone says to you that do you look really nice today? You can practice, instead of that immediate self-rejecting kind of, oh, it really isn't me, or this is my hairdresser, whatever. You can just say a very simple thank you, or it's nice to know that you appreciate me. Even if you don't mean it, sometimes you have to fake it. But faking it is all right as long as you are practicing a kind of, hey, if someone says to me I look nice, or that I smell good, or that I look nice in this outfit, or that I look younger than I am, or whatever. I'm entitled to that. I'm entitled to a compliment. I'm worth that. You can practice saying things like, I love you, and check out when someone says that back to you. How do you react to that? What is your reaction to that? accept the I love yous and the caresses and the affection that other people are directing at you as something that is directed towards someone who deserves that, rather than always doubting it and saying, oh, I wonder if he really does that, or I wonder if she really means that, or all of the doubting kind of things. Of course, you would love me. Your attitude, your inner conversation goes, of course you would love me, or I'm worth being loved. I'm a valuable person. You can practice ordering things that you want in a restaurant. I mean, just for practice, instead of looking at the price tag, ask yourself, what do I feel like having? And give yourself little rewards. Little rewards are things that you can practice, and the practice gives you a kind of self-discipline of self-acceptance and self-esteem and value. You know, you indulge yourself with something that's really nice just for you, you know. No one else has to know about it, you know. Why? Because you're worth it, you know, because you're important, because you're significant. You got to look at things like jealousy. Jealousy is really a put down of yourself, making another person's opinion of you more important than your opinion of yourself. You want to really watch out for if you find yourself extremely jealous of somebody else. You can ask yourself, what does it say about myself? As a matter of fact, you can take every single erroneous zone or every single negative behavior in your life and ask the question, when I'm experiencing this emotionally, what does this say about how I feel about myself? Why would I allow myself to go through this kind of agony, this kind of hurt, this kind of pain, and bring it home to, I am no longer going to treat myself as a shabby person who isn't entitled to feel good or to feel positive about himself. I'm not going to do that any longer. When I'm experiencing anger or guilt or worry or fear or any of the kinds of things that I call erroneous zones, you start with, why am I allowing myself to be in this state of immobilization? Don't I think I'm worth more? Well, someone will say to them, what kind of food do you like? Oh, I like Italian. And someone sitting next to him says, Italian? I hate it. Well, I don't mean I really like Italian. I mean I like Chinese. Chinese, you like that? It's like bait. I can't. Well, I don't really like the Chinese food. I really prefer, and it's like their opinion isn't located within themselves. Their opinion is located in whatever anybody around them is saying. You very much like politicians who are constantly trying to get the approval of everybody for everything that they say. And then if they're talking to a group over here who are, say, pro-guns or whatever, or pro-abortion or whatever, then they will come out and say exactly what they think the audience wants them to hear. And then the next day, they'll say something else to a different audience. Now that's one thing in politics, but your life isn't politics. Your life is very personal, and that's what we're talking about here. Or you do not want to be the kind of person who is always looking at what somebody else is going to say, or how they're going to react in order for you to be happy. As a school counselor and a therapist for years, and as a teacher, I used to tell my students who would say to me, okay, I agree with you, but I still want their approval. I would always say to them, look, I want approval too. I mean, I go out in front of an audience, and when I finish, they give me a standing ovation. I'm really happy. That makes me feel very, very good. I love approval. I want approval. I enjoy approval. But I don't need approval. A need is something that you can't survive without. I need oxygen. I will admit to that. And I need sleep. And I need to be held and loved. And there's a whole lot of needs that I have. Most of them are in the physiological area, and many of them are in the psychological as well. But approval is not one of them. If you need approval, what that means is that you become immobilized without it. Like if someone in this room suddenly started taking the oxygen out of this room, I would become immobilized and die. That's a need. If someone takes the approval out of your life and you begin to wither, then you have got your self-esteem located in the wrong place. Self-esteem means self located in the self, not located in others. Otherwise, we'd call it others' esteem or something like that. Now, you need to take a look at the people who get the most approval. Because I used to tell my students this, I'd give them this little talk about approval seeking, and that you don't want to allow other people's opinions to be more important than yourself. And you shouldn't be surprised at all when you run into disapproval. I'm never surprised at it. It's really interesting because, and that's a maturity that I think I've experienced over the years. I used to get letters from people, and if it was a negative letter, it would bother me, and I would think about it, and I would respond to it. I would try to defend myself.